Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review, and today we are reviewing a card by ShadowReign, and I have my special guest Islandsnake with me today.
Hey everybody.
So this is a card called Descendant of Deception. This is a 5 mana 3/3 legendary creature human ninja.
Can we just is this Shredder? That's Shredder, right?
It looks like Shredder.
It's a ninja. I don't know if it is Shredder, but I'm gonna just
It
I
looks a
don't
lot.
think it's supposed to be Shredder, but
Oh, it's
it's
definitely
very
not
Shredder.
supposed to be Shredder, but I mean, okay, hold on. Let's find a picture of Shredder. We'll do a comparison.
This is gonna be one of those things where like my brain like has this fake version of Shredder that looks like this and like the real Shredder looks
I
nothing
guess
like
it
this
I
at all.
guess it depends on
Which Shredder?
it depends on which shredder you're talking. Yeah, but okay. So hold on, I'm finding a picture. This is cartoon shredder.
Alright, that I love how like whenever you look at old like
Yeah, like
90s
when you were a
cartoons that
kid, this probably looked
like
awesome, but nowadays you're like, oh,
yeah, wow.
like did some child draw this. Um, I mean, we're like we're pretty close to Shredder here. He doesn't quite have these like arm blades. Face mask is a little different, but yeah, he's Shredderish. He's definitely Shredderish. All right, so let's see what this guy does. He's got Menace. Do you know what Menace is?
No.
Menace means you can't be blocked except by two or more
Oh
creatures.
yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
do remember that now.
The first spell a player casts each turn is cast as though it was their second. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay two black
I'll,
red and exile a non-land card from your hand face down. Until the end of your next turn, you may discard two cards and cast that card without paying its mana cost.
um,
Yes, this card's a little bit complex. And
I just don't understand the first like doesn't is there any mechanic that matters which spell
there are some cards that say like,
as though it was their second.
yeah, it's a little bit, it's definitely niche. Let's look. I think this is supposed to be some kind of a synergy here. So, cast second spell. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, create a wolf. Whenever an opponent casts his or her second spell, draw a card.
Okay, so
Whenever a
it does
player
exist.
casts their second spell, yeah, but it's like super rare.
I will say that like the all these cards have a thing that happens, and and this card just like well, whenever you cast a well, I guess it's supposed to synergize with these cards, but I feel like
Well, none of these cards are
um,
really black or red. That's one thing.
true. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
true.
here's a couple more. Bloodsky Berserker. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn. Clarion Spirit. Okay, that's white. Infernal Pet.
Okay, so there's some play here.
Yeah, it's pretty niche, I gotta say. Like, okay, we're talking commander here. This is clearly a commander card, and I mean we've seen what, three black and red cards that care about casting your second spell,
True.
and out of your like 99 card deck.
But
Uh,
are we gonna penalize them if like they're obviously this is not the only card they designed, so is there if they have other cards that interact with this, like
that
how do we really judge that, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's true, but
I will say that this affects every player, so
it does
in
affect every player.
in some ways it like buffs like other niche cards that no one's ever gonna have, but like
Yeah,
it is. I would prefer. I would be more happy with this card if the second part of the card interacted with this
right,
somehow.
exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. Um, Although in that case, why would you even have this here?
That's true.
So it's
That's
like,
true.
and it isn't even that hard to cast two spells in a turn. I,
No,
I, I
it's
guess
not.
I guess I guess like when people's hands run low, this starts to matter more. But I don't know. It seems very niche, uh, and not that powerful. Um, okay, so let's look at this one. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can pay four and exile a non-land card from your hand face down. So okay. Until the end of your next turn, you may discard two cards and cast that card without paying its mana cost. So essentially, you can pay four and discard two cards to cast a card without paying its mana cost. So that, I mean,
So it's like you exile one and pay 4 to cast the card.
you have to discard 2 cards as well.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
So that's a really steep cost. I mean, so
But it's the
obvious.
but you're casting the card that you exiled, right?
Yes. Yes.
So discard 2, pay 4, cast the card.
Yeah. So
Next turn. No, until
so
the end of your next turn.
until the
Okay.
end of your next turn. Yeah. But I mean, it's without paying its cost. So like,
So it's like I guess you can save some mana here on your big
oh,
drop.
I think that just mean I think that the only reason that that's there is so that you can cast like instant spells on their turn or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I'm guessing because otherwise you would just want to do it immediately, basically. But then if that were the case, like why not just say like why not just make this like 2 black red colon, do this instead of like at the beginning of your upkeep you have to do this or you
So
don't get to do it at all.
so one weird thing is it's not a weird thing, but technically like you can like set up a combo with this card. So like you pay the cost, but you don't actually cast anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then next turn all of a sudden you have all your mana. You play your normal stuff and you're like, "Oh yeah, I get to cast a card for free." Because last turn I did this thing.
Yeah, but you're still taking like a really big hit. Like,
Yeah, you are, you are. I'm
yeah,
not saying it's like it's just interesting part of the card because like you have so long to decide.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, basically, like this only seems good if you're if you're casting like big, really big things, right? Like
yeah,
I know Emrakul is not legal in Commander, but like that's like what you want to cast with this card, right? You want to like cast Emrakul because you have to discard 2 cards to cast that. That's a lot. That's a
it
lot.
is.
Like I know
It's
I know you can like I know you can like put madness cards in your decks and stuff and like that's cool and everything, but like discarding 2 cards is a huge cost. Not
and
to
also
mention
like
like
if you
paying
think
4
about
mana.
like the order of play here, like obviously you don't do everything in one turn. Like you wouldn't summon this and then, but the you have to have the card in your hand that you want to cast. So it doesn't help you find it.
Correct.
You exile it, which kind of like I mean I guess they already know you're up to no good anyway. But like it's like you exile this card face down, which is I guess that way you can hide what it is from your opponent.
Right.
And then you have this like arbitrary window where you can cast it for free if you pay 2 cards. Now the one thing about this is that it looks like you can do these two things separately. Am I right about that? So
Yeah.
you could just like hold off on this until way later, and then when it's time,
Well, you could.
discard the
Well,
two
you
cards.
no. Well, you can only do it until the end of your next turn.
Oh yeah, until then the
So
next. Well,
I now that I look at this more, I think the reason this is this way is like if you have 2 cards in your hand and you exile one, you're not going to be able to discard 2 until your next turn. So it's
yeah,
like
that's true.
like
Yeah.
it kind of takes care of that, and it lets you like play instant speed cards. But basically, you better have something freaking good that you want to cast with this. Otherwise, it's like discarding 2 cards and paying 4 mana to cast anything other than Emrakul is asking a lot. That's asking a lot. Like you better be winning the game with that card. Is all I'm saying. Um, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm not a fan,
I'm
I
not. Yeah,
think,
I'm
of
not a huge
this.
fan of this one. And like its stats aren't really very good either. It's just like a 3/3 menace. Yeah, I'm not. This one I think is my least favorite of the ones we looked at. Um, you know, there's definitely like some synergies with this. Like you could have madness cards. There's like some cards that care about, and it's just like this just seems so straight like out of place here, doesn't it?
It does. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it just seems really out of place here.
Like it is a cool effect. Like if there was more cards that had play with it, like you'd be like, okay, that's kind of cool. But also, why does this card do that?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
So I'm gonna go with a 2 out of 5 in this card.
Yeah,
Shredder is not my favorite.
yeah, I agree. I think Shredder is he's Shredder is going to remain a cheese grater. He's
Yeah.
just he's not. I'm not building a deck with this guy. So okay, 2 out of 5. I agree with that, and that's our review of Descendant of Deception. Thank you guys for watching.